In today's lesson, we're going to be starting to just define a couple of things. So the first thing I want to define is distance along a line. The distance along a line is just the length of a segment between 2 points. So the distance along a line is just the length of a segment between 2 points. What I mean by that is just, all right, if I want to find the distance between A and B, I can just count the length of that line segment between the two of them. So the distance from A to B is 1, 2, 3. It's a distance of 3. Now, if I want to find the distance of B to A, it's not negative. It's just how far away something is. So the distance from B to A is the same thing. 1, 2, 3. No matter what, going left or right, right or left, it's always positive. Just one more, if I wanted to find the distance from C to D, that's a distance of 1. It's the length of a segment between 2 points. Now, the distance around a circle is the length of a segment, that means a part of the circumference. The circumference of a circle, by the way, circumference of a circle is just how far around the circle it is. It's not how many degrees, but it's like if I took this line and unfolded it to figure out how far it is. That's the length of my circumference. And a segment of my circumference would just be one part. So maybe I want to find the distance around the circle from A to D. Well, it would just be whatever. I take this line over here, that I'll color in a little more dark so you can see the distance from A to D, and I would just take this segment of the circumference, this part of the outside of the circle, and I just kind of unfold it so it was flat to be able to find that length. Now, there's one other thing I want to show. This line I'm going to draw right here from point A to point B is called a chord. If I have a line that goes from one edge of a circle to another point on the edge of a circle, this is called a chord in a circle. And then, if you're not sure exactly what an angle is just when I have two lines that meet up at one point. That's an angle. And in this case, my angle B to A to O, this is what we call an inscribed angle. An inscribed angle means that it's an angle whose midpoint or whose vertex is touching the edge of my shape. So this is an inscribed angle in a circle. So the blue here is inscribed angle BAO is the name of the angle, and we'll look at what this symbol is supposed to be later. All right, so from here on out, it's just a couple more vocabulary words that we want to go over in this video. All right, a line segment. The definition of a line segment is a part of a line bounded, and that means that ends with, bounded by two endpoints. So a line segment is a part of a line bounded by two endpoints. If I want to say line segment AB, here's how I write it without having to write out the whole word. So this symbol up here means line segment, and this tells me the 2 points that end it. And an example of what that would look like is I'll have a point A over here, a point B over here, and my line segment is just a part of a line that's bounded by those 2 points. So don't forget, a line is a thing that just kind of keeps going on forever in 2 directions. That's a line, and it'll keep going on forever that way and keep going on forever that way. A line segment has an end. It ends at my 2 endpoints. So this is line segment AB. And the way you would read this notation is line segment AB. All right, let's go on to a ray. A ray is a part of a line with one endpoint that goes on infinitely in one direction. The notation for array is, I'll name this one ray AB. Here's the notation for the ray, and it's important which way the arrow is going. If the arrow is going this way, that means my endpoint is on point A, and point B tells me which direction I'm going through by saying where I'm going to have my ray go through. So let's say I have point A right over here. Here's an example of a ray. Point A is right over here. Point B is over here. So far it's looking like a line segment, but my endpoint is where I start, and when I get to B, I don't stop there. I keep going past through B, and that's what makes this a ray. So a line segment, I have 2 endpoints. A ray, I start on point A, I go up to point B, and I keep going on forever in that direction. So it's kind of like a line, but it only keeps going in one direction. All right, let's keep going. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines in the same plane that never intersect and are the same. They're the same distance apart at each point. So parallel lines are lines in the same plane that never intersect and are always the same distance apart at every single point in the line. And the way I'd write this is here I'll write line AB. Notice I'm writing arrows going both ways for line AB. And this symbol right here means parallel. Line AB is parallel. And then let's say to line CD. Line AB is parallel to line CD. And the example of what that would look like, I have a line going on forever like this, another line going on forever like this, and hey cat, get out of here, cat. I've got a line going this way like this, a line going that way like that, and to show that they're parallel in the picture, I'm going to write a little arrow this way on this one, and another arrow this way over here. Okay, next we've got perpendicular lines. So, perpendicular lines, are you serious? perpendicular lines, I'm sorry, are lines that intersect to form right angles. And we're going to talk more about angles later on. But here's how we denote it. If I have a line AB and I want to say that it is perpendicular to another line, I will say this symbol means perpendicular. Line AB is perpendicular to, and then we'll say line CD. And an example of what that looks like is our good old coordinate grid. I've got a line going vertically, a line going horizontally, and to show that they are perpendicular, I'll put a little box in the corner here that shows that they're forming a right angle, and these lines are perpendicular. So if they cut each other, not exactly in the middle, but just kind of like how you have a floor and a ceiling, where it kind of goes vertical against horizontal. Next, let's talk about what an angle is. An angle is a figure formed by two rays. And these two rays share the same vertex. Or the same, sorry, endpoint. What are these cats doing? Endpoint. And these endpoints are called a vertex. So, an angle is a figure formed by two rays which share the same endpoints, and those endpoints are called a vertex. An example of how I would write out the name for an angle would just be angle A. So when I see this symbol here, that means angle, and I'm calling it angle A. And well, all right, so if I have a ray over here, I'll have my endpoint A, and I'll draw one ray out this way, and we said it's a figure formed by two rays that share the same endpoint. So then I'll just draw another ray starting from A. And this is what an angle looks like. The final word that we need to go over is a circle. So, a circle is the set of all points equidistant. I don't have an eraser. Equidistant, I'll rewrite it down over here. Oops. Equidistant from one point, and that point is called the center. And the way I'd write it out would be circle, that's the symbol for circle, and I'll call it circle A, I'll call it. And so let's see, it's the set of all points equidistant, that means equal distance, equidistant, from one point called my center. Well, if I have one point over here, and I want to find a whole bunch of points that are the exact same distance from that center, jeez, cat. I can start out with a point over here, and if I want to find another point that's the same distance, I can go on the other side over here. And I can kind of keep putting these points all around, and every single one of these points have to be the exact same distance from my center. And if I do that, I'm actually drawing what you already kind of know just from being alive and knowing what words are. This is what a circle looks like. And if you look at it, I'll measure from my center. It's the same distance here, the same distance there, from the center to the edge, the same distance there. A circle is one center and then all these points that are on the edge of my circle are all the exact same distance from my center. And those are all the vocabulary words that we're looking at today.